Good evening, everybody. As you can see, back down the Avon. One of my favourite places to be. Love this river, absolutely love it. And back down the river, unfortunately, it's not June the 16th as I planned to get out. It's actually June the 17th today. Didn't manage to get out yesterday for one thing and another, and for the fact that it was absolutely thundering and lightning and was terrible weather here. Did intend to go, but things got on top of me at home, and when I finally did get to come out, the heavens opened, so I thought, no, we'll leave it till tomorrow. And what's happened as well is a lot of the day today, it's chucked it down with rain as well. Now this place really does, as lots of rivers do, really does respond to a bit of water. There's a bit of water in, so I've come to, as I say, one of my favourite bits of it as well, this evening with a couple of rods. I'll run you through the gear in a minute, but it's 7 PM now. I'm going to fish into dark. It is supposed to start raining again 9-10 o'clock, something like that, but we'll fish into dark and we'll suck it and see how it is, and fingers crossed we can have a few fish out. What I've done is just to quickly touch on tactics. This season I thought perhaps I'd have a go for some roach, some nice roach. Never caught any really nice roach, and there are some around in the Avon. So this evening I'm going to do a bit of a two-pronged attack, but as I say, I'll run into that in a minute. But as for now, it's very muggy, very sticky. As I say, it's been raining a lot today. And it's supposed to rain again later, hence the waterproofs. I've got my jacket there as well. Well, to be honest, it's far too hot to be sat here in these at the moment. Really sweating. Never mind, the river looks great. There's a bit of colour in it, just a tinge of colour. Pushing through a bit faster than when it's low, so there's definitely some water on. And I've come to this peg here, which gives me access, if I spin you around, hopefully you can see, to that snag over there. Now, that snag, if you remember, if you've seen any of the videos, my previous videos, perhaps a couple of years ago, that's the snag that I had a 13-pound barbel out from. Now, I haven't been up here too much since then, because it really went off. Same old story, I'm afraid. Otters turned up. There used to be carp in here. Stopped catching the carp. There used to be barbel in here. Stopped catching the barbel. Those two species do seem to be the ones that get hammered the most when the otters turn up. But otter turned up, and as I say, it sort of went downhill from that point of view. But with some slightly different targets in mind now, as I say, some nice roach, then I'm sure they're still about. Anyway, enough talking. I'm going to get my gear, get it set up, and I'll run you through exactly what I'm doing. So guys, as I mentioned, I'm going to do a bit of a two-pronged attack this evening. I'm going to fish one rod quite heavy, for bigger fish, perhaps barbel and carp if there are any about, you know, big chub, that kind of thing. And for that, I'm going to use my Rovex John Wilson barbel quiver rod. This is the 13 and 11 foot rod. It's actually set to 11 foot this evening. I've coupled with that a Nomura FW 2000 reel. Really like these reels, fantastic. And that's got 8-pound line on it. Coming down to the business end, I won't go into too much detail on this. What I'll do is I'll link you into a video. If you have a look at the video up there, this is just my standard ledger setup that I set up for most of my ledger fishing, my ledgering. As I say, I'll link the video in up there rather than running it through again now. If you want to see how to tie this and exactly the components of this, as I say, I'll link it up there. I've got a hook link there, perhaps 2.5 foot long, something like that. This is 7-pound hook link and size 8 hook, and I've got one of these, if you can see that, one of these bait screws on there, trapped between a couple of hook stops. I'm going to fish the feeder on here. These Guru gripper feeders, I do like these feeders, nice big one, with some ground bait in, and a couple of loose offerings of these. These are some garlic dumbbells, which I'm trying out this season. I can get them open. I only bought a few with me. They're very garlicky. Again, I'll put the link in for these down below. But they're sort of garlicky dumbbells, and I've got some matching paste there as well. Covered in grass. I'm just going to paste wrap a dumbbell. Fill a feeder up, perhaps put a couple of free offerings in there, chopped up dumbbells, and as I cast it over near that snag, and use that rod as a little bit of a sleeper really. It can sort of look after itself. Right, I think I'll get this in first off, and I'll run you through the other setup. So guys, fantastic, we're fishing. Now, the other setup is a lot lighter. Again, I'll link you into the video when I unbox this. This is the very first outing, my Drennan ultralight. Set up with the paternoster that you saw me set it up with in the video, if you've seen that. If not, again, I'll link it in and you can have a look at that when I set this rod up. So I won't run it through you again, but I'm going to fish paternoster on here. This rod I'm going to fish and sort of work it more. I'm going to fish much more mid-river. I'm going to use maggots, ground bait, some bread, got some worms as well. So I'm going to fish this, and like I say, I'm going to work it a lot more. Sort of concentrate on working this rod, and see if we can't pick up some nice silvers, some bream, as I say, some nice roach. It'd be fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Some lovely hybrids in here, and also some silver bream. So really, this is what this is geared towards. Much more sensitive setup. As I say, I'll link you in up there to the video for this one when I set it up, rather than run it through with you now. Something just jumped out there. The river does seem very alive tonight. No excuses if I don't catch anything tonight. Well, I think if I don't put any bait on, it's the only way I'm not going to catch anything tonight. But some nice fish will be good. Now, just to, as I quickly ran through there, the baits. Got bread, maggots, worms, and I said these garlic boilies. But I think I'm going to go perhaps on the bread on this paternoster setup on here first off, with perhaps a little mini feeder, and put some ground bait through. I've got some new ground bait I'm trying out here. It's from Angling Bait Company, and it's their roach ground bait. Very seedy mix. Put onto this by Mark Erdwin, Fishing from Memories. He put me onto this. He got some and said it smelled beautiful. So I'm going to have a go with this. I think I've got just mixed that about 1/3, sort of 2/3 ground bait, 1/3 of it is liquidized bread. I'm going to give that a go. They smell lovely. As I say, I'm going to put perhaps a small feeder on. One of these very small Corum ground bait feeders, gripper feeders, and see how we get on. Wow, look at that, even the right species. No monster, but fantastic. That's great. Well, we're definitely on the roach. If you see that guy's on the other side, not a. There he goes. Blimey. I think this is probably a bream. That is a bream. How about that? That's a proper bream. Head covered in tubercles, so I guess that's a male. But wow, what a fish that is. Absolute stonker. Unfortunately, he's got a bit of damage to his tail now. That looks a little bit ottery to me. But wow, what a fish. Plagued and plagued and plagued by small roach until it got dark, and I started to get some different sort of bites. I wondered if it was these bream. Wow. What a fish. Look at him. That's a proper one. Absolutely superb. Right, we'll get him back and see if we can't have a few more. Well, turned it into a bit of a bream session. There we are, number 2. Female by the looks of this one. No tubercles and lots of spawning marks by the looks of it, where the males have been rubbing her with their tubercles. But another absolute unit. Fantastic stuff. Really enjoying this now. It's been very, very quiet, but this place always switches on in the dark, and it's proven to be the case again. Wow, absolutely fantastic. Great stuff. Well guys, it's gone 10 o'clock. I'm going to call it a day at that. Had a thoroughly enjoyable first session back down the river, apart from all these flies you can see buzzing around me. But as I say, apart from that, it's been really, really enjoyable to be back on the flow. The boilie rod did absolutely nothing as expected, but you never quite know, do you? So put it out as a bit of a sleeper, but as I say, did absolutely nothing at all. And we had plenty of small roach before it got dark. As soon as I put maggots on, I was just getting absolutely hammered. Tried worms, nothing, and bread was just getting chewed to pieces by them when it's light. But as soon as it got dark, they were leaving the bread alone, which was good, and we ended up with those 2 beautiful big bream. I know they're not a lot of people's cup of tea, but I do enjoy catching my bream, as you'll know if you've seen any of my videos previously. And you know, people moan that they're slimy, and to be honest, my experience here, the bream are not slimy at all. As you probably saw from the fish that we caught tonight, they're not slimy in here at all, and they don't smell. So they're definitely very enjoyable to catch here, and on the right gear it's fantastic, you know, on light setup, it's really good. I really enjoyed that. You know, no bigger roach unfortunately, but as I say, that's a good reason to come back, definitely. And then, as I say, there's hybrids in here, there's silver bream as well, so I'll definitely be back. I do fancy doing something a little bit different next time. Not sure exactly what, but you'll have to wait and see for that. So until then, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Tight lines, enjoy your own angling if you manage to get out, and I'll see you again very soon.